introduce to you the chair of the conference, Alfonso González. Poncho, woo! Bravo. That's a very nice shirt. Welcome.
Thank you. It's very Aldo. Thank you, Aldo. You forgot to mention also that I brought you to Uber. Hey, I had a super amazing video before I introduce myself, so thank you very much. So first of all, to welcome everyone to Mexico. Woo.
In Mexico.
Thanks to YouTube, the main sponsor of many ice hackers in our conferences. Thank you very much, Aldo, for the amazing introduction. Thank you. And I really appreciate the invitation and welcome everybody to Mexico. Before going there, so I would like to know which countries, entities, or territories in dispute are visiting us this afternoon. Perú. Yes, arriba, abajo. No iba así como el shot. ¿Puerto qué? Eso. Pura vida que sopa. Bolivia. Los bolochos por allá, bienvenidos. Sorry. Guate, Chapines. ¿Qué? Presente. Ay, en el chat tenemos Canada. Woo! Hey, from UK. Oh, you're really like being late. Germany, Ukraine. Okay, so where? Brasil, bem-vindo. Woo! Ecuador, from the middle of the world. ¿Por aquí? Ecuador también. Okay. Mucho Ecuador. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, my English is like very, very bad. And in my mind, unconsciously, if I force my Mexican accent, I understand myself better. So I believe people understand me better. So if you see like I start speaking like this, it's just for me to understand me better. El micro. Muy bien, muchas gracias. Venga, es la emoción de empezar. So welcome everybody. So as you can see, this super amazing video that I made with Flash and PowerPoint of Mexico. I haven't been in most of those places, but if you have the chance, please take a look to our country, our food, and our amazing people. So if I will say, or you were asked, next conference is in Mexico. So what comes to your mind when you hear Mexico? Ay, ¿qué pasó? Tequila, I'm so surprised tequila is the first one, like a Panzanaya Secker. Mariachi, Virgen de Guadalupe. Very good. Cool. La Morenita. Haru, I don't think about that like when I think about Japan, but yeah, too, Mexico. Awesome. And there's one super amazing celebration that we just recently did, like a couple of weeks ago. Do you know it? Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Exactly. We will talk later, and I want to dedicate some time specifically to that celebration because it's one of the most touching for me and my family, and definitely it's like one unique in its kind. And thanks to Disney that we have now the movie Coco, it's known worldwide, and thanks to James Bond, there's now a parade happening in Mexico City every year that didn't exist, but thanks to James Bond, we have it. Okay. Now it's a tradition, and it's a very touristic season for us. But not only that, for the physical or in-person real life people like you that visit us, but also the true and deep belief that our dead relatives come to visit us. Okay, so we spend these days remembering about them and honoring their lives and reminding us that we are the sum up and the addition of all these generations that are behind us, just like the alumni. Okay. So I really appreciate it when they invited me to be the animator of this conference, because and I haven't drunk coffee, imagine, after that. So, but I really want to thank this chance, because for me it's my first alumni conference. So I don't know who of you is your first alumni conference. Yeah, Wolf, mis hermanos por allá. Okay, so we have first timers. Don't worry, I'm as lost as you. But one important part of being an ISECer, like for life, is that you can really feel comfortable even if you haven't met the people, because the shared values, the shared beliefs, and the shared culture is always there. So I want to welcome you to Mexico, but also to make us all, between us, feel welcome and appreciated this weekend that we're going to be here together. As most of the alumni I admire here and that I respect, told me when I was because in my mind I'm still a child, when I was younger, it was like one of the things you take from your experience is the people, right? So for us that is our first time, I want us to remind that it's about all the people, even our people there online on Zoom, thanks to you. Okay, so about me, I am Poncho. Here in Mexico, Alfonsos are called Poncho usually, or Pancho, but happens to be that my younger brother is Francisco and his name is Pancho. So yeah, my fathers, after 5 children, they didn't have much imagination, so they decided Poncho and Pancho, and we were dressed all the time together, like the sailors, como marineritos, Poncho and Pancho. And you always have this auntie that asks you, "You're Poncho or Pancho?" And I'm like, none of them. None of them. Now I ignored that auntie anymore. But so I was in ISEC, as many of you, and I was Pancho, and during the nights I was the Yanira. That's another story for later. So today, when I told my friends, I don't know who was present in Momentum in Mexico, a great event we have some years. Yeah, okay, yeah. So who lived afterwards the depth of Momentum? Yeah, very good, very good. Okay. So Back then in Momentum, it's already paid, so we're generating a new one, okay? Because that's incentive, apparently. Back then, there was this company that sponsored the conference back then that was called Uber. A couple of years later, I joined, and when I told all my friends, you know, I'm joining Uber, most of them were like, oh, you like driving so good. Like, I mean, yes. And I can open the door and like connect your Bluetooth and give you water, but that's not the role I was hired for. Never imagined that I was actually going to start doing that, because back then when we were a startup, it was supposed that we will drive the cars and deliver the Uber Eats and all that nice stuff. Just to feel it, you know, when you blame everything to the newbers, exactly, when you blame everything to the newbers and they have to do everything, it's the same here. You have to do everything before you actually start directing something. So I loved it because it was this environment of people that work so hard for something purposeful or something that you believe in. So I was so happy that I said, more ISAkers need to come. So I invited Aldo. And Aldo, after almost as the same negotiation we did for me for this event, I was with Aldo, apply to Uber, you're gonna like it. And then Aldo and then Leo Estrada from UP. And at the end, we ended up being almost 30 ex-ISAkers, at least in Mexico. So Mr. Haruo named me MCP of ISAC in Uber. Yeah. And now most of them are not there in Uber anymore. So it's also most of the startups and most of the millennials. I consider myself a millennial, although, you know, I'm pushing 40 already. So most of the millennials don't last that long in the companies. So what I do now is safety support for Latin America. So I'm responsible of all these situations where we have either incidents, accidents, gender violence, robberies, plus all the people, all my friends and relatives that realize I work there, and they always have some complaints. I already embraced it, so I'm here like later for all the complaints about Uber, lost items, and everything. But that also gave me tons of stories, so I don't need to repeat all the stories that I shared during my ISAC experience. I have new ones about experiences with Uber drivers. Just the one that was more shocking for me when I joined the company was this tourist around the time of Momentum. This tourist arrived to the Mexico City airport. The Uber driver arrived. He opened the trunk, and there was a woman inside. Exactly. When I started reading the case, I was like, oh, what kind of company are we? Okay. But then the lady said, like, don't worry, I'm his wife. I don't think that makes it better, right? So definitely the driver was rejected in that moment or banned from the platform. But then he and his wife came to the center to I'm not being recorded, right? ¿Eh? Me lleva la chingada. Bueno, I made it up, but no. The thing is, like, the driver. It was when we started in Mexico City. We didn't have that many trips, so drivers spend a lot of time waiting for trips. Now it's riders or users waiting tons of time to have a trip, but back then, the driver was waiting, so he was like, "Come on, it's a Sunday." Took his wife to have lunch, and then he received a trip from the airport, and he said, like, "Oh, it's expensive one. So what do? I don't know. Go in the trunk." Yes. So you could see there was like a supportive story behind it between this couple, you know. But that was the first case when I joined the company. I was like, no, I'm more used to like dancing roll calls. But some years later, here I am. So, crisis management. Yeah. Talking about crisis management, I know we have some logistic challenges. It's always the first time. I know we have been all in ISA conference, so first, in advance, apologies for all the inconvenience, whether it is because of logistics or because of the weather. We are doing our best, and we really appreciate your comprehension. Okay? Y sus mentadas de madre ya después, ya ni modo. Okay? Cool. So I want to welcome on the stage people I admire, and I appreciate their invitation for them to actually, after all this fun stuff, officially welcome us to the conference. Por favor, Patty, señor Haru, señor Alberto, if you can join us on the stage, please. So with you, the responsible of all the MCs in Mexico getting fat and healthier, Mr. Haru.
Thank you. So you see a three-layer mask, first of all. Dear Isakers, thank you very much for being with us. I think everybody wanted to fly again. And nobody's complaining that you got 3-4 hours delay and the service was bad. Everybody was happy sitting down the plane, regardless of the delays, the planes, etc. See? So, because we are all here in person to see our faces, to hug ourselves, and this has no price, really. We are tired of Zoom meetings. We have been, well, all day. Probably we have more meetings now than ever. And at the beginning, we were very afraid of the camera. And I said, oh, how do I look in the camera, whatever? And now we don't care. No? But everybody got really fed up with us. And I think at the end of the day, these meetings and this change that we are facing in ISEC alumni is very good because we have been working since student times to become leaders and changing the subject now to be ISEC Alumni Leadership Summit is, I think it's an important change. And right now, what about the first time that we are going online, worldwide? Hopefully our friends in the Far East are still up to see us. But this is also the first time that we have youngsters, you see, here, organizing all these technological things, because I have my small notes here, so I don't forget things, because at my age, I don't even forget what I had for breakfast this morning, so sorry. But I just wanted to welcome you to Mexico and tell you where you are sitting. You're sitting in the Mexican Riviera, or the Mayan Riviera, which started in the late 70s by the government that decided to convert this little beach place, fisherman's town, into what was Cancun. And Cancun started in the late 70s. And then from there, it exploded. And as you saw in the video, Mexico generates about $20 billion per year in tourism, and probably half of it comes from Cancun. And not only Cancun, but the whole Riviera. There are 400 kilometers of resorts, one next to each other. So you can imagine this resort, probably the investment in this place was about $1 billion. So you can imagine the investment that is here. And this is the vision of a president, whether left or right or whatever, because that president was very left-oriented, but he had a vision. And the vision that tourism one day will become the #1 foreign exchange generator in this country. Today, oil has gone down, Oil is not important. And of course, manufacturing goods for the States, because we have 85% of our foreign trade is with United States. But anyway, tourism is among the top three. The other one is the money that is generated by Mexicans in the States that they send back home every month. And that's $27 billion. So it's a lot of foreign currency. And I think that the tourism, so I wanted you to realize that you're not just in the Mexican Mayan Riviera, but you're in one of the really probably unique tourism stretch in the world. There is nothing compared to the Mexican Mayan Riviera, not even Cabo, not even other places in Mexico. But so we are very proud to have you here. When Momentum in 2014, I wanted you to visit the center of the country, places that don't have beaches, don't have anything, but they have General Motors, they have Volkswagen, they have all the big companies, and is the main generator from the industry point of view. And so now I'm very proud to have you here. And we have had a very tough time. When people started in one of the racks, they said, "Oh, next time in Mexico, in Cancun," and everybody was saying, "Oh yes, Cancun, Cancun." But the problem of organizing an ISEC event in Cancun is that we don't have a local committee of ISEC students in Cancun. So there are no slaves, there are no people to help us and work us. And we had to fly from Mexico several times just to find the places and check them out. And but then we were scheduled for 2020, and what happened? Well, COVID came, and nobody knew what was going to be, the pandemic or whatever. No vaccines, no nothing. And so suddenly we are with the COVID crisis, and 2 weeks from opening the event, and this resort shut down. And they say, "Sorry guys, but we are going to shut down." And the airport was shut down, and everything was shut down. And so we had already paid the resort maybe $70,000 or whatever. And so we said to the resort, "So give us back our money." And they said, "Sorry guys, money is in the account and is not going out." So we had to deal with that. And we have to tell everybody that we were very sorry, but we couldn't do it. Everybody understood, because this thing happened everywhere. There were not a bunch of narcos here, shooting and whatever, and this is why we canceled. No, we canceled because of COVID. And so I had a very patient organizing team, and we stayed together. So I want to introduce all my team. And I have to read the names. Well, our ISEC Alumni Mexico President, Ceci, and Roger. Roger he's been fundamental in all this, because he's been carrying all the negotiations with the hotel, and he's doing all the logistics, and he hasn't slept for the last 2 weeks, but he's very enthusiastic. And Roger has been really fundamental in all this. But then we also have Miriam. Miriam has been in touch with everybody. And then the marketing guys, Lalo and Mariana, we have gone through, I don't know how many changes from rack to AALS to whatever, and then hybrid, This is like the new cars, no? New cars, they're hybrid. And so Mariana and Lalo, they've been very patient. They're the marketing, and they have their own marketing company and designers and all of that. Then we have Liz that will organize the parties, and she is going to do the experts. Then we have Tsunami and Paula, they're doing all the logistics and reservations and everything. And Ale in the back office, always working and arranging the reservations and whatever. So then, of course, lately we got Omar joining the team. But we told the bosses here, we said, look, we organize everything, you do the agenda. And then Mariel came on board, and my God, if she is like not only a hybrid, but really powerful car, whatever, she goes at 1,000 reps all the time and working. And of course, then we needed more reinforcement, so we got Aldo. And I know all of these guys because they were in my offices for years. We made a mistake of feeding them every day, so they didn't want to leave. But we were very happy to have them. Right now, the office is still half closed. But anyway, so this is the place is you don't have to pay anything, and it's 100% included. We were lured by the fact that alcohol is included. And there is a bottomless glasses. So feel free, be our guest, and enjoy it. And I hope that you will enjoy the rooms. The facilities are very nice. Also, for the first time in the history of all these events, the seasons will start at 11 o'clock in the morning. We got tired. We got tired of calling every morning at 8 o'clock and, ringing all the rooms and saying, hey guys, now, plenary at 9, etc., etc. So I said, I have been to many congresses in very beautiful areas and nice, beaches and wherever. And people, when I come back, they said, oh, how was it? Oh, well, I didn't even get to the beach. Oh, because we were always locked down in rooms and talking. So I push and push this time that we will not have any meeting before 11. So you can have nice breakfast, you can sleep late, you can go to the beach, you can do 100 kilometers running or whatever, and come back, and then still be on time. And please, as usual, my son, who is not an ISECer, he went in 2004 to an ISEC event where I was inducted to the Hall of Fame. And he said, well, you know, that ISECers, they really drink hard and play hard and then work harder. I said, well, this is ISEC. And so I hope that we can work harder here. And I hope that everybody from this, we learn all about the SDGs, and that we apply some of them to our companies, to what we do every day. We treat people well. I learned that in this hotel, when they shut down, they sent everybody home for 3 months, full pay. I told my employees, I had about 120. When in March 2020, I said, nobody is going to be fired here. Everybody is going to keep the job at full pay. But if the money is not enough for everybody, we'll share it. And we'll reduce our salaries, all of us. So this is values that we have as ISECers. And there are many other SDGs that we can apply all the time. So that's something that I hope that everybody will get back when they get back home. At least you say, well, I learned something. Besides have a good time, besides being with your friends and new friends and a new network, but besides that we have learned something that we can apply in our companies and our professional life. So welcome to Mexico again, and I really hope that you had a very nice time in the Mexican Riviera. Thank you.
Gracias, Jaruo. Thank you, Jaruo. Well, as Jaruo said, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's been a long time, a lot of work put together between all of us in our different places. And as Jaruo said, part of our responsibility was to draw the agenda. For that, we really have a lot of help. Ivan, no? We created an agenda working group online. Ivan from Colombia was there, Sergio from Bolivia, Ada Chambergo and Patti Arana from Peru, from the AAIB team also. So we had a really good team. And after we decided the topics, the idea was, what can we do after a period of time that was so challenging? We wanted to challenge us more. And we have already decided that we were going to change the concept of RAC, Regional Alumni Congress, and meeting to legislate once every year, to legislate again on the same issues. And now we have all legislation online because we have a lot of people being able to participate. But from now on, we're going to have leadership summits. So we're going to come here to learn, to share, and to challenge ourselves and be able to go back to our countries and do the same with our membership. So this year, 2 challenges in particular: leadership, transformation. We started already, and we're going to have working groups, and we're going to have the chance to talk about what are we doing with our leadership skills and our leadership roles. And the other one is the SDGs. We have all signed as organization the support from ISEC and the alumni to SDGs, but now we really have to do more. That's why we want to learn more about the SDGs, the targets of each SDG, and to be able to, as an association, come out of this meeting with some particular commitments. We're going to have working groups every day, and each one of us is going to try to sign a commitment. What can we do for each goal and each target? It's going to be fantastic. So apart from that, I really want to thank all the OC. Thanks, Ancho, for your help here. Omar, it's a fantastic OC. We are really going to have a great time. So please enjoy, participate, and be on time.
Good afternoon, everyone. I really want to start thanking the organizing committee, ISEC Alumni Iberoamerica and its executive board. As Haruo said, this was planned originally for March 2020. It was postponed 3 times. All the negotiations with the hotel and all the management of the money and the image and the changes of ideas. And we were all living together. And I don't remember how many times I used to say, this is the first time I do this is the first time I do that, this is the first time. So it's been the first time many times. And we continue now. This is the first time that happened several things. It's the first time that we have a RAC, a Regional Alumni Congress, together with ISEC Alumni International Congress. That's a decision we took in Palermo in 2019, that we were going to rotate the International Congress to put it together with a regional Congress in order to strengthen the regional congresses and provide a more international perspective and a more international flavor to each region. That was the intention. I love the intention. And this is the first time we do it. This is the first time we go in a hybrid mode. And this was decided recently. It was not planned as that in March 2020 because we didn't know COVID. We didn't know how much we can use Zoom. I was talking this afternoon with somebody that Zoom existed before, but the Zoom suites were 9 digits. Today, Zoom suites are 11 digits. All of you who know a little math can imagine what that represents. During all this time, the executive board of ISEC Alumni International has been trying to continue working and keeping all the programs running. And I think we have succeeded. We have Lida here, who is from Ukraine, traveling from Switzerland, left 2 children at home. Thank you, Lida, for being here. And we have Mariel, who's coming from Sonora. All of you know her because she's so incredibly active. And she didn't leave the baby home. She brought the baby to the Congress. So that's and we have Aldo, who is part of the management team in the innovations program. Aldo has no babies yet. And well, so these are many of the first times that are happening now. But the most important is we're here. We are here, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time. As Patty said before me, we eliminated the legislative sessions. Some of us love them, but many of you don't. So actually making the legislative sessions online is much more democratic, because all of the representatives of the national alumni associations can participate, even if they don't have to fly anywhere. So actually it's better. And now we can concentrate our time in more useful things than discussing our statutes and our compendium and those things. Okay, somebody has to do it, but not necessarily during the precious time of a Congress. Okay, time in a Congress is too precious to dedicate it to that. So we're here. We finally did it. I mean, it's incredible that we did it after so many problems and challenges, but we had a great leader in the organizing committee. We had a great leader in ISEC Alumni Iberoamerica, and we're here. Let the party begin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So with this, I will make sure we open some time for agenda and logistics, because I know we might have doubts about it. But let's go straight to the next session with our co-agenda manager, it's Mrs. La Señora, with Mariel, please. Round of applause for her.
Gracias, Poncho. Bueno, primero que nada, les vamos a pedir 2 minutos